I was walking past a construction site the other day. It was just this skeleton of a building, steel beams, concrete, scaffolding everywhere.
Right.
And I stopped for a second because I saw the site manager holding this massive roll of blueprints. He was shouting instructions, checking
Right.
measurements, making sure the foundation was curing properly. And it looked, incredibly complex.
Of course.
But then later that same day, I looked at my own kid sitting in the back seat of the car, and I had this sinking realization. I am currently building a human being, and I am pretty sure I lost the manual about 3 years ago.
It feels like that sometimes, doesn't it? Like we're working without a permit.
Yes.
We're just winging it and hoping the structure doesn't collapse.
Exactly. We're just laying bricks and hoping they hold. But today, we're going to try to find that manual. We're launching a special edition series of the deep dive that we're calling Building Humans.
I'm really excited about this.
And I have to say, the material we're working with today, which is brought to us by the Al-Mahaba Foundation and the Dar al-Khalema Publishing House, it doesn't feel like a parenting blog. It feels more like architectural theory for the soul.
That is a perfect way to frame it, because if you get the foundation wrong, the biology, the spirit, the independence, the whole structure becomes unstable.
The whole thing.
The blueprint we're looking at today comes from the core of Maria Montessori's philosophy, specifically the secret of childhood. And the Al-Mahaba Foundation, their motto is love for all and service to all, really wants us to look at this idea of service in a totally new light.
And it's a blueprint that, frankly, made me uncomfortable because it challenges the very definition of what a good kid is. Let's be honest with each other and with everyone listening. If I ask you to picture a good child in a restaurant or a library, what image pops into your head?
Oh, I know exactly what image it is. It's a child who is quiet, sitting still.
Yes.
Hands in their lap.
A statue.
Right, little statue.
But the research we have in front of us, it posits a really provocative question. What if that statue behavior isn't politeness? What if it's actually paralysis? What if the things we think are good behavior are actually harmful to the construction of that human being?
That is the central tension we are going to explore. It's the core of it all. We're going to look at 3 pillars of independence: movement, the hand, and walking.
Okay.
But to really understand them, we have to talk about the biggest obstacle standing in the way of a child's development.
Which is?
Us, the adults. We call it the adult blind spot.
Okay, so our mission today is to shift our listeners from being just caretakers, keeping the kid alive and clean, to being builders.
And to do that, we have to respect the raw materials. The child isn't a lump of clay we mold. They're a dynamic explorer with their own internal guide.
Let's get into the first pillar, because this one hit me the hardest. Section 1, the misunderstanding of movement. Now, I want to push back on this immediately. As a parent, I love a quiet kid. When my child sits still and colors for 20 minutes, I don't think paralysis. I think, thank goodness I can finally drink my coffee. Are you telling me that relief is actually a problem?
It's not a problem for you. For you, it's great. But we have to look at what it costs the child. See, you and I as adults, we have this luxury. We can separate our minds from our bodies.
Right.
We can sit in a chair for 3 hours, totally motionless, and solve complex intellectual problems.
Well, I'm doing it right now. My body is parked, but my brain is running a marathon.
Exactly. But for a child, that separation doesn't exist yet. It hasn't been built. For a child, the body is the bridge to the brain. To move is to think. They aren't 2 different activities.
So they can't just think about things abstractly. They can't just sit there and ponder.
No, not in the way we do. Montessori calls movement the functional expression of intelligence. Think about it biologically. How does a toddler learn what gravity is?
They drop something.
Over and over and over. They drop a spoon, they drop their food. How do they learn what distance is?
They have to cross it.
They walk across the room. How do they understand texture? They run their hands over the carpet, the wood, the glass. If you cut off the movement, you cut off the data stream.
That makes the command sit still.
Yeah.
It just sounds so much more severe now.
It is severe. The source uses a metaphor that I think is perfect for the modern age. It calls it mental Wi-Fi.
Mental Wi-Fi. Okay, unpack that for me.
Imagine your child is trying to download a massive file, the understanding of how the physical universe works. They are downloading data on mass, velocity, social interaction, language. That download happens through movement.
Okay.
When you shout, sit still, or stop moving, no, it's like walking over to the router and just unplugging it.
Click. Connection lost.
Connection lost. The download fails. And what happens when your internet cuts out in the middle of a movie? You get frustrated. You get angry.
So that puts a whole new spin on the hyperactive or naughty child. Because we tend to pathologize movement, right? We see a kid running circles around the sofa and we think, oh, he's wild or he can't focus. But you're saying that the running is the focus.
The running is the brain trying to connect. Movement is the battery that charges the mind.
Right.
Without it, the mental energy just stagnates. And this brings us to a very dangerous trap mentioned in the text, the trap of the quiet child.
This was surprising to me because usually if a parent has a kid who sits in the corner and watches the wall, other parents are like, jealous.
Oh, yes.
They say, look how good he is. But you're saying we should actually be worried about that.
We should be very wary. Look, a child is not a plant. A plant is designed to stay in a vase and look pretty. A human is designed to conquer their environment. If a child is unnaturally quiet or still, we have to ask why. Is it because they are deeply concentrated on a puzzle? That's great. That's purposeful. But if they are quiet because of fear, or because they've been trained that movement is bad, or because their spirit is, well, because it's broken, that is dangerous.
It's suppression.
It is suppression. And here's the thing about energy physics tells us. This energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed.
Right.
The source outlines this energy principle. Every child has a massive amount of vital energy inside them. If that energy isn't channeled into purposeful work, building, climbing, washing, moving, it doesn't just disappear.
It has to go somewhere.
Exactly. And if it can't go into work, it explodes into chaos.
So the naughty behavior, the running around, screaming, throwing things, what people call the zoomies, that's just misplaced energy.
It's energy that hit a wall. It's an explosion. And then what do? We punish the explosion.
We yell stop.
Which suppresses the energy again, which just builds up more pressure, leading to another explosion 5 minutes later. It's a vicious cycle.
Okay, so what's the alternative? Because I can't just let them destroy the house. If I can't tell them to sit still, but I can't have them swinging from the chandelier, what is the role of the adult here?
The source puts it beautifully. Don't be the brake, be the road.
That's a good line. Don't be the brake, be the road.
The brake stops the car. It kills the momentum. The road guides the car. It gives it direction. The role of the adult is to redirect that energy, not kill it.
So give me an example. The kid is running wild in the living room. What does the road do?
The road doesn't say stop moving. The road says, hey, I see all that energy. I need some strong muscles to help me carry this heavy laundry basket. Can you help me?
You give the movement a job.
Precisely. You turn the chaos into work. Because when movement has a goal, it requires focus. It requires intelligence. Carrying a glass of water without spilling it requires immense physical and mental coordination.
So that's the mental Wi-Fi working at full speed.
At full bars, that's purposeful work. It's not just movement for movement's sake. It's movement with an aim.
Okay, so we've established that movement is the battery. It's the Wi-Fi. Now, I want to zoom in on a specific type of movement. One of the biggest milestones in human life, walking.
The conquest of space. Source 09 calls this the second birth.
The second birth. And it's funny, the source mentions how we treat this today. It's a viral content moment.
Oh, absolutely.
We hold the camera, we cheer, we post it on Instagram. Look, they took a step. We treat it like a performance. But biologically, it's way more than a photo op, isn't it?
It is the second birth. And that's not just a poetic term. It's a fundamental shift in their existence.
That is a massive statement. The second birth. Why so dramatic?
Think about it. The first birth is leaving the womb. You are physically separate, but you are still totally dependent. You are where you are put. You are, in a sense, still an extension of your mother's will.
You're an object in the environment.
You're an object. But the second birth walking, that is the Declaration of Independence.
You are no longer luggage.
Right. You shift from being a passive observer of the world stuck in a high chair or a crib to being an active explorer. The child becomes the captain of their own ship.
I love that image. The captain. But, and I have to bring the reality check in here, being the captain of a toddler-sized ship is incredibly inefficient.
Small chuckle.
Yes, it is.
And this leads us to what the source calls the luggage trap.
The luggage trap. It's a harsh term, but it's meant to be. It's accurate.
I feel called out by this one. I do, because I do this. We all do this. We're in the parking lot. The kid is walking too slow, so I scoop them up.
Of course.
I carry them. It's faster. It's safer. They look cozy. Why is this a trap?
It's a trap because you are prioritizing your convenience over their construction. The source argues that when you carry a child who is physically capable of walking just because it's easier for you, You're treating them like a suitcase.
Wow.
You're treating them like an object to be transported, not a human being learning to navigate the world.
You are treating them like a suitcase. That stings. It really does. It should, because think about the psychological impact of that. If you are constantly being picked up, you internalize a message. And that message is, my legs aren't good enough, I am not capable, I need a giant to move me.
It undermines their confidence.
It paralyzes the spirit. It hinders self-confidence. You lose the mastery of balance.
Right.
Every single step a child takes is a victory. It's a complex calculation of balance, gravity, and strength. Every stumble is data. When we carry them, we rob them of those thousands of small victories. We are essentially saying, you can't handle the world yet. I'll do it for you.
But let's talk about the friction point, because I think every parent listening is thinking, okay, that's beautiful poetry, but have you tried walking with a 2-year-old? We need to get to the grocery store. It's 3 blocks away. If I let them walk, it will take an hour. I have frozen food melting in the car.
This is the fundamental clash. It's the clash between the adult goal and the child goal. We have to distinguish between walking to arrive and walking with purpose.
Okay, break that down for us.
The adult walks to arrive. We have a destination, the grocery store. We want the most efficient, straight line, least amount of time. That's our goal.
A to B.
A to B. The child. They don't care about the grocery store. For them, the purpose of the walk is the walk itself. They are walking to conquer. They are walking to build their legs. For them, the walk is the destination.
That's why they stop at every single pebble.
Every pebble, every leaf, every crack in the sidewalk. To us, those are obstacles or distractions. To the child, those are the curriculum.
The curriculum.
They are studying the world. When we pull their arm and say, hurry up, we are interrupting a sacred lesson in geology, in biology, in physics.
So we're back to the service concept. How do we serve the child here? We can't spend 3 hours walking to the store every day. I mean, life has to happen.
Of course not. And the source isn't saying you can never carry a child. You're crossing a dangerous street or you're late for a doctor's appointment. You do what you have to do. Safety and reality are paramount.
Okay.
But the source offers a specific, actionable tip. Go for a child's walk.
A child's walk. How is that different from a normal walk?
On a child's walk, you have no destination. You leave the house with zero agenda. The only goal is to follow the child.
So they lead.
They lead completely. If they stop for 5 minutes to look at an ant, you stop for 5 minutes to look at an ant. If they turn left, you turn left. You are not leading, you are following.
That requires a lot of patience. A level of patience I'm not sure I have.
It requires a shift in identity. You stop being the car that transports them and you become the companion. You show them that you respect their pace. You respect their struggle to climb that curb. That builds the human. It says, I see you working and I'm here to support that work.
It's really about changing our mindset from efficiency to development. Efficiency is for factories.
Yeah.
Development is for humans.
Precisely. You said it perfectly.
Okay, so we've got them moving, we've got them walking, they're conquering space. Now they've reached the object they were walking toward. What's the next thing that happens? They reach out, they grab it. And this brings us to section 3. The instrument of intelligence, the hand.
Yes. Source 10 focuses entirely on this, and it makes a bold claim that connects back to biology. The hand is the instrument of intelligence.
It uses the car analogy again, right?
Yeah.
If the mind is the engine.
The hand is the steering wheel. But I think an even better analogy from the text is the idea of digestion.
Digestion. How so?
Yes. Montessori argues that a child's brain is literally starved if they cannot use their hands. The brain needs food. For a child, that food is sensory input. Weight, texture, temperature, shape. You can't get that from looking. You can only get that from touching.
So touching is like tasting the world.
The hand is how they digest reality. It's how they take the world from being an abstract picture out there and turn it into concrete knowledge inside their brain.
But this brings us to the most dangerous phrase in the parenting vocabulary. I bet everyone listening can guess what it is.
Don't touch.
Don't touch that. Put that down. Keep your hands clean. We are obsessed with it. I go to friends' houses, and it's just a chorus of don't touch.
And again, referring back to our earlier analogy, saying don't touch is equivalent to cutting off the Wi-Fi.
Right.
It's worse, actually. It's like blindfolding them. To a child, seeing isn't enough. If they can't touch it, they don't truly understand it existentially. It's just a picture.
So when we say don't touch, we're prioritizing the safety of an object, a vase, a remote control over the development of the child's intelligence.
We are saying the vase is more important than your brain, and we are teaching them that their hands, the primary tools for learning, are naughty. That's a terrible lesson to internalize. My hands are bad. I shouldn't use them.
But let's play devil's advocate again, because the fear is real. Kids break stuff. They are. They seem destructive. If I let my toddler handle my ceramic mug, there's a 90% chance it ends up in pieces. I can't just let them destroy my home in the name of education.
That is true. You shouldn't. But the source asks us to reframe destruction.
Reframe it how?
What looks like destruction to an adult is often disassembly to a child.
Disassembly.
They aren't throwing the mug to be mean. They aren't trying to make a mess. They are dropping it to see what happens. Does it bounce? Does it make a sound? Oh, it broke into pieces. How did the pieces fit together? What is the inside made of?
They're reverse engineering reality.
They are scientists. They are conducting physics experiments. They are trying to discover the secret inside the object. They want to know how it works.
So if we can't let them break our expensive stuff, but we have to let them use their hands, what's the solution? How do we balance safety and science?
The solution is service through substitution. Give them real work.
Real work, you mean like chores?
Not chores in the sense of drudgery, but participation. Kids often reject toys because they know they are fake. Have you ever noticed a kid will ignore a $50 plastic kitchen to play with a real metal pot and a wooden spoon?
All the time. The box is always more interesting than the toy inside it.
Because the pot is real, it's heavy, it's cold, it makes a loud noise. The source suggests we need to let them participate in life. Let them wash vegetables, let them fold laundry, let them sweep.
Even if they do it badly.
Especially if they do it badly at first. These tasks require complex hand movements. They provide the sensory feedback the brain is craving, the cold water, the soft fabric, the rough broom handle.
And it makes them feel useful. It gives them a sense of dignity.
It does. The metaphor here is powerful. Don't be the glove that covers their hands to keep them safe and clean. Be the workbench.
Be the workbench.
Provide the environment where their hands can work safely and purposefully.
Be the workbench. That's a great image. It's supportive. It's stable. But it allows for the work to actually happen.
Exactly. Let those little hands build the big mind.
Okay, let's pause and recap for a second. We know movement is the battery. Walking is the declaration of independence. The hand is the instrument of intelligence. These are the biological facts. But why is it so hard for us as adults to accept this? Why do we fight it every single day?
This brings us to section 4, the root of the conflict. And the source has a name for it. It calls it shallow understanding.
Shallow understanding. That sounds like a critique of us.
It is, but I think it's a compassionate one. It's the adult blind spot we mentioned earlier. We struggle to implement these ideas because we're wearing adult glasses.
Adult glasses. Meaning we judge everything by our standards.
Yeah.
Our adult standards.
Yes. We judge efficiency, cleanliness, order, and silence. Those are adult values. Let's look at the example of the spilled water. This is a classic scenario. A child tries to pour water from a pitcher into a glass. They spill it all over the floor.
Okay. My immediate reaction, oh no, a mess. I'm annoyed. I grab a towel. I say, be more careful. I might even sigh loudly so they know I'm put out.
That is shallow understanding. That is you wearing the adult glasses. You are focused entirely on the result, the wet floor, the bad outcome.
What's the deep understanding? What am I missing?
The deep understanding looks at the process.
Yeah.
The child was practicing coordination. They were exercising their wrist. They were judging volume. They were attempting independence. The spill, that's just data. That's a physics lesson. That's part of the experiment.
So the child isn't clumsy or naughty.
No. They are a mind under construction.
So when I focus on the wet floor, I miss the brain building that just happened. I'm getting mad at a scientist for a failed experiment.
You miss the miracle because you're looking at the mess, and this shallow understanding is what leads directly to the tantrum myth.
Oh, the tantrums, the public meltdowns. The source calls this a myth. I can assure you they feel very real.
It calls the interpretation of it a myth. We see a kid screaming in a store, lying on the floor, kicking. What do we think?
Bad behavior. Spoiled brat. Where are the parents?
That's the shallow view. We judge the noise, we judge the external behavior.
What's the deep view?
The deep view asks, why? A tantrum is often a cry for help. It is not manipulation, it is a sign of distress. It usually means a sensitive period has been violated.
A sensitive period. We need to define that.
It's a biological window of intense focus in development. For example, there's a sensitive period for order, a time when a child has a desperate need for things to be in a certain way to feel safe and make sense of the world.
So if you, give them the wrong color cup.
Their world collapses. It's not about the cup. It's about the order that was just shattered, or maybe they were forced to walk too fast and their legs hurt, or maybe they're overstimulated by the lights and sounds of the store. The scream isn't defiance, it's a nervous system overload.
So the source says we need to shift our role from being a judge to being a what?
A detective.
I like that shift. A judge delivers a verdict.
You are guilty of being noisy, a detective asks. What caused this scene?
Exactly. Investigate the reason. Was the environment too loud? Were they tired? Did I interrupt their focus? When you stop judging and start investigating, the anger goes away and empathy takes its place. You realize they aren't fighting you. They are fighting a world that doesn't fit them.
That is profound. It really changes the energy of parenting from adversarial to what's a collaborative. But there's another trap mentioned here, the help that harms.
This is the paradox of kindness. This one is so tricky. We think we are being kind when we help a child do something they are struggling with, like tying shoes or putting on a jacket. Watching a child struggle with a zipper is painful. It takes forever, they get frustrated, so we just zip it for them. Here, let me do it.
We think that's love, but shallow understanding says, the child is struggling, I must fix it. Deep understanding says, the child is struggling, they are in the middle of a vital lesson, I must wait.
So our help is actually robbing them of the achievement.
Yes, it teaches them, I can't do it. It teaches dependence. And let's be honest, often our help isn't about them, it's about us.
How so?
Our kindness is often impatience in disguise. We aren't zipping the jacket for them, we're zipping it because we want to leave the house. We are prioritizing our schedule over their growth.
Wow. Our kindness is often impatience in disguise. That hits home. That really does. I've definitely done that.
We all have. But true service, according to the source, is waiting. Giving them the dignity of the struggle, standing by, ready to support if they ask, but not taking over.
So the role shift here is, don't be the dictator who tells them how to feel or what to do.
Yeah.
Be the interpreter.
The interpreter of their silent language. Understand what their spirit is asking for, even if they can't say it in words. If they are pushing your hands away while you try to help, maybe they are saying, please, I need to do this myself to feel human.
This has been an incredible journey through the Building Humans blueprint. We've covered a lot of ground. Let's try to synthesize this in section 5. We've talked about a lot of concepts, but it all comes back to the motto of the foundation: love for all, service for all.
It does, but we have to redefine service in the context of a child. Service isn't doing everything for them. That's servitude on their part, or it's just enabling on our part.
So let's break down the definition of service we've built today. If I want to leave this deep dive and go serve my child in the Building Humans way, what does that look like in practice?
Okay. Service is walking at the child's pace. That's the companion.
The companion.
Service is providing purposeful movement to channel energy rather than suppressing it. That's being the road.
The road.
Service is giving them real work for their hands so they can digest reality. That's being the workbench.
The workbench. I love that one.
And service is observing the spirit behind the behavior, not just the noise or the mess. That's being the detective.
It's active, not passive. It requires us to suppress our own ego, our own need for speed, and our own desire for control.
That is the hardest work of all. Building a human requires us to rebuild ourselves first. We have to dismantle our own adult glasses. We have to learn to see the world from 3 feet off the ground again.
And just a teaser, because I know we have more in this series. We've talked about the child and the adult. But there's a third element we haven't touched on deeply yet.
The prepared environment.
Right. We hinted at it. But the next step in this journey is figuring out how to build a world, a home, a classroom that fits the child, rather than forcing the child to fit our world.
That is a massive topic. But if you can get the environment right, a lot of these conflicts, the touching, the breaking, the running, they solve themselves. If the house is designed for them, you don't have to say, don't touch anymore. But that's for another deep dive.
Indeed. So as we wrap up this special edition on the architecture of independence, let's leave our listeners with a final thought to chew on.
Here is my challenge to you. For the rest of today, just observe your child. Watch them. Don't correct them. Don't help them. Don't judge them. Just watch. When they move, when they touch, when they scream. And ask yourself this question. Are you seeing naughty behavior? Or are you seeing a mind under construction?
Take off the adult glasses.
Even just for 5 minutes, it changes everything. You stop seeing a problem and you start seeing a person.
And here is our call to action. Stop carrying them when they can walk. Let them touch the world, even the messy parts. Guide that incredible energy. Don't fight it. Be the road, not the brake.
And if you want to understand the deeper science behind this, the source of all this wisdom, you need to look for The Secret of Childhood by Maria Montessori. It is the manual we were all looking for.
And please visit our partners who made this deep dive possible. Check out Dar El Kalima Publishing House at darelkalima.com. They are supporting the knowledge that shapes the future. And of course, the Al-Mahaba Foundation.
This has been the Building Humans series.
Thank you so much for listening. Remember the motto:
Love for all.
and service to all. See you next time.